Good afternoon and welcome. And I shall begin in a second. Hi Jean, good to see you. Okay, I think we're good to go. Well, good afternoon and welcome to today's session. We're really pleased to be hosting this session, also alongside our colleagues in Normandy during our annual event. My name is Andy Bleed and I'm the Communities Director here at the ECH Alliance. Today's session, as we know, is all about the celebration of our French community. That's both our ecosystems and our members and our partners within France. Why are we doing this today? Because we want to showcase at the very end of that presidency period of France being president of the Council of Europe, all that we have in terms of that rich tapestry within our community. What we're also going to try and do today is get you an opportunity, the audience here, to make some connections. So this is a giant connect-a-thon, as I call it, with our community and our French community in particular. One of the ambitions from today is to launch our French Presidency Connector, and my colleagues will talk about that shortly. But most importantly, it's to try and make some opportunities for collaboration. Within the ECH Alliance, we pride on ourselves in being the global connector. We do that using our ecosystem network, which brings together our members from across the globe. We're a member organisation of over 930 organisations. Most of those are not-for-profits. Hospitals, universities, government bodies, regional authorities, but in particular clusters. And today is a great celebration of that because we've got some fantastic clusters hidden as gems within France. One of the things we've done within the presidency period of France is to be able to celebrate that by opening up and bringing into our network more ecosystems. So from an original standpoint where we had only one ecosystem in France, in Nice, we've now grown that network to include another 4 in the last 12 months, which has been fantastic, and certainly in the last 6 months. And in particular today, we're very, very pleased to be able to introduce to our newest ecosystem, which we'll come to later on. For those people who don't know anything about our ecosystem network, just briefly, and I don't want to talk too long today, I want to show you just in terms of where we have that level of connectivity across the globe. So our ecosystem network has grown exponentially during the pandemic. You can see we've grown our ecosystem network in France, in Finland, in Portugal, in Spain, but also outside of the EU, importantly. What that gives is greater connection opportunity and opportunities to collaborate, run projects. And we'll see some of those today. But today, I'm wanting to just use this to expose that valuable asset we've got from within France and showcase 4 of our 5 ecosystems to you. They're all different, and I think they're all unique and wonderful in their own way. I've also got the opportunity as well to showcase one of our ECH Alliance members as well, because that's an important part of what we do. We're a member organisation, so that's great. You'll be able to see in the chat function below you some information about us and what we do, and how you can connect with us if you're actually not a member of us. What I'm keen to do though is to think about what opportunities you might want in terms of collaboration with that French group we've got here today. As we close off the French presidency of the EU, we thought we'd celebrate that today. We've got a packed programme today. We've only got a short amount of time. If you've got any Q&As, there's a function there to add in some questions. However, without further delay, I want to move on to the main topic of today, which is to launch our French ECH Alliance Presidency Connector. And my colleagues, I'm going to hand over to my colleagues because I'm conscious I talk all the time. I'm going to hand over to my colleagues Adriana and Ines, who are going to introduce this, and then we'll come back and we'll get on to the main show of the day. Adriana.
Thank you, Andy. So welcome everyone. We're very happy to have you all here. And this is the very first time for us because we have never launched this type of document before. And basically, we're gonna explain you a bit, my colleague Ines and I. Sorry, actually, I didn't introduce myself properly. I'm Adriana, and some of you might know me, some others not, because we deal with our members and our ecosystems very closely. So I work together with Andy and Ines to support our members and our ecosystems. And Ines will follow up after and will explain a bit more about the document. And basically, the purpose of this section is that we're going to show you a first glance of this French Presidency connector, which we're going to send out throughout this event to all of your emails. So you'll be able to see it. And it's going to be on our website and our social media today. It's like a 40-page document, 38 to be precise, featuring basically our members, our ecosystems, also our project partners in France, as well as some of the activities that some of our bigger members, such as Stanstal, do in France. And we decided to launch this initiative because there's already this existing framework, which is the EU presidencies, which you might know or not know about, because as we always know, all these EU concepts, sometimes they're a bit further from us than we think, which is basically this idea that like every 6 months, there is a rotating presidency of the EU, and there's one of the EU countries that is the lead of this presidency. And in this case, it was France. The presidency was running from from 1st of January until precisely today, 30th of June. So today is the very last date of the French presidency. And then we have the start of the next presidency, which is the Czech Republic. And just to give you a bit of background also, next year it's going to be Sweden for the first 6 months and Spain for the second 6 months. So this is the first time model that we have launched of document to highlight our community in a specific country, but the idea is to keep this up in the countries to come as long as we have a certain community there. So you'll see more of this soon. And basically the purpose of this was to put the spotlight in our community, in this case in France, which we already knew because obviously we have meetings with our members, with our ecosystems, we organize events with many of you here, but sometimes I think that putting the spotlight on something really gives an overview that if some other members from our community or ecosystems ask us, oh, so what are you really doing in France? Or I have some interest in doing something in France, maybe getting like project partners in France. Now we can present this document, and it serves as a presentation of what the ECH Alliance is in France, which is obviously, as we will see later throughout the presentations, the core of it is our ecosystems and our members who will be speaking later today. So I'm going to show you drums, some parts of the document. There you go. So the document, I think you should see it now in full screen on your sites, looks like something like this. And there was, of course, a bit of introduction, and then we introduce each of our ecosystems in France. Here we have our co-host of the day, which is our Normandy ecosystem, which you will hear more from them, from Benjamin Cheret afterwards. And basically it's like an introduction of the Normandy ecosystem. Then we have our Bretagne ecosystem, our Jura-Sante ecosystem in Lille, as well as our latest ecosystem in Paris, Future for Care, who is also present here today. And then we present a bit who are our champions of each of these ecosystems, because obviously these ecosystems are made also by members. So they decided to highlight a set of them. And here you can see the Normandy ones, and this will give you more insights on each of them. Same for Bretagne, same for Jura-Sante. Then we highlighted some of our members, not all of them, because we still have more members in France, but all those who wanted to contribute to this document, which is like around 8 or 9 of them. And here we can see Yes We Cool, who we will have today, their founder present here, and Lou, and she will introduce their activity. As well as we have some of our project partners in France. These are 2 of our projects that were involved, Gatekeeper and Beamer. And then you see some of the organizations and companies that are involved with these projects in France. And then finally, since we have some of our larger members, as we said, Tanstal, they have also activities in France through what is called Tanstal Bitaris. I don't know if some of you are familiar with this. And basically you can see a bit an overview of their work that they do, particularly with aging people. which might be helpful because as far as I know, some of our ecosystems in France are also focused on this kind of activities. So take a look afterwards. And that's pretty much it. So we'll send you the document. I'll do it while Ines, my colleague, will be speaking. So you'll be able to go through it. We're very happy to launch it. It's the first, as we said, and it would be very great if you can share this among your colleagues and among your networks, both in France and abroad, because we believe that this can be helpful for many people. So thank you very much. And now Ines will follow up, explain a bit more what are the next steps with this document and a bit the legacy of all this. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Ines. I've been working with Adriana and Andy, and we're working in this document for at least more than 4 months now. It's been a really hard work, and we hope we can really get information that you need for your work, for your organization in this document. And now that Adriana explained a little bit how we work on it and what you can see on that document, we want to look to the future and know what we can do with the document. Because you will see there the information about your ecosystem, but also the other ecosystem in the country, and also the companies that work with ACH Alliance on there. And we think it's a very important document where you can go and just check if someone is working in a project that you want to be involved or you want to know more, or it's like a document where you can see right now what's going on in the digital health in France. So yeah, it's been a really hard work, and we hope you find it interesting for you and for your work. And what's next? So as Adriana said, the presidency of the European Council is every 6 months, sorry, so in one country. So we have twice a year, and next ones will be Czech Republic this year, and 2023 we will have Sweden and Spain. From the beginning, we start working with, especially with our members and our ecosystems in those countries to see how we can work with them and we can showcase this document, but for the future presidencies. And from ACH Alliance, we'll be working on this project to show our ecosystems in those countries, but also the companies where we collaborate in there and we have a strength or dots. And so, yeah, if you want to contact any of the ecosystems of our members in France, that you will see them more today, and as they will be speaking after me. But just don't hesitate to contact us. And if you have any questions, or you can just contact us wherever you want. And yeah, we'll be here to the next presidency, and we hope you can find this document useful. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that, Ines and Adriana. I think what you've given there is an overview of some of the benefits and also the rich tapestry of information we've got here. Remember, this is a first for us, as it is for you. We've always had some information about our ecosystems, some information about some of our members, but because, like many organizations, and all of you will probably understand this, we have websites and it becomes deeper and deeper and harder to find some of that information. So what we wanted to do was gather up what we can, collect everything up in a document, and we think this is one of the great opportunities for this. Anyway, documents coming your way. One of the nice things about this as well, this is why we're recording this for the rest of our community, is we can share this and your presentations and your slides and your information today, and hope to continue that level of collaboration. Without any hesitation though, let's get on with the show. As we say, we're going to now do a deep dive into 4 of our ecosystems, beginning with Normandy, then we're going to go next door to Breton, over to Eurosante, and then lastly, excitingly, with our latest ecosystem in Paris. Benjamin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andy. And thank you to H Alliance for this opportunity. I'll just share my screen and hopefully you can see it. Okay, so who we are at Poltes. We are what we call in France a competitiveness cluster. So this is a cluster dedicated to technology transfer between public laboratories and companies. And we work on 5 different application sectors. So we work for the industry, agriculture, health, smart content, and the other one is tourism and smart territories. We work on on all digital technologies applied to this sector. So cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, IoT, 5G, anything that's linked with high digital technology. Our mission is to imagine, and co-conceive new ways to use these technologies in these fields, and of course to identify the needs and challenges that exist in these fields and how we can overcome them with the use of these technologies. Specifically for the health sector, we have developed 3 topics for this year and next year. 3 main topics of work, which are the aging of the population and how to age well and stay at home, of course, mental health, and the patient's journey. So we've been created in 2005 as a cluster dedicated to the banking sector because we were initially dedicated only to safe and secure digital transactions. And started from 2007, we've started to open our way to view things and to go into the health sector because we thought that secure transactions and digital technologies are not only for the banking sector but can be applied anywhere else. We have more than 150 members today, which are composed of small companies, startups, large companies, research labs, local authorities, other associations. So we have a lot of different types of members, and we've supported more than 3,000 projects. And we've learned today at our General Assembly that this year we are supporting almost 50 projects in the health sector, and we're only halfway through, so that's a very good thing. A few project examples that we've supported ourselves as a cluster. The first one is Hub Simera, which is a VR simulation platform developed by a cancer institution. And they are aiming to train students and professionals with different error rooms in several environments, so the hospital, the patient's home, etc. And so this is for students, but also for health professionals, so they can keep on being trained during their years of work. The second project is Overcome. So you can see all these projects in the document that H Alliance just sent just before, if you want more details. Overcome is a project dedicated to the early detection of the risk of development of progressive cognitive disorders such as Alzheimer's disease, and this is done through AI algorithms. Sorry. And the last example is the ADAPT project, which is a Franco-British project where we built an electric-powered wheelchair with different kinds of sensor and cameras, which can be driven by the patient, but also can drive itself and avoid obstacles and well, just drive itself if the patient is not in a state where he's able to do so. And we have also developed a VR simulation platform to train people to use the wheelchair in security, because it's quite a big object and quite difficult to know how to use it when you've never used one before. And it's actually a project that was very good for us because people who were not able to use electrical powered wheelchair before because of the medication they take or because of the diseases they have, are now able to use them because of this hybrid manner of driving the wheelchair, because the wheelchair takes over if there is any kind of problem. So this is a very good thing for people who have limited mobility issues. And now one of the big projects that we have for this year and next year is called Nuno Santé. This is a third place for the health sector that we are developing in collaboration with the Centre Henri Becquerel, which is a center for to fight cancer. So a few words about health in Normandy. It's a key sector for our region. Certainly, it's one of the most innovative in here. And as I said before, it's probably the field which brings us the most innovative projects each year, with about 50 right now in June. But despite this very dynamic and fertile ecosystem, and despite the region being an ideal setting for experimentation, because we have big cities, we have rural areas, we have medical deserts, so it's a very good area for experimentations. But we are not really considered as a dynamic region on the subject. And there is no organization in here which is federating this sector for innovative projects. So it can be very difficult for people who want to develop something to respond to a need, to know where to look for help, whether it's for finding testing grounds, funding, or other partners or other skills. So that's why we have decided to build this third place to take things in hand. And so this is something that we've done already on other areas such as connected mobility. So this is something that we know how to do, and we've decided to apply it for the health sector. There are three main goals for this Nuno Santé project. The first one is to accelerate the time to market for innovations by providing them with tailor-made support and reducing administrative time. This is applicable for digital health projects carried out by innovative companies or startups, but also by the ones carried out by public research labs. The second goal is to become the regional one-stop shop for digital health. So organize a whole service offer for projects from the exploration phase to the testing phase, and qualify user needs and business models upstream. And the third one is to organize local healthcare organizations in order to accommodate industrial experimentations in real conditions. So within the hospitals and other organizations which are partners of the project. So the three main work topics for this project are the aging of the population, so aging well at home, early detection of neurodegenerative diseases, etc. The second one is mental illnesses such as depression, schizophrenia, etc. And the third one is sports, because as you already know, the 2024 Olympic Games are going to take place in Paris. And so we are going to work with the institutions there to improve, to develop projects in connection with the improvement of performance and the reductions of risk in sports. So this is the services that we are going to provide. I'll pass quickly over them, but it's what most clusters do, so support for the integration of new technologies, looking for partners, looking for funding, looking for testing grounds. Projects can also benefit from the services of the design lab, which is designed by one of our members to identify user needs, which is very good for co-creating projects responding to the needs. We will also help companies to identify the right economic model, business model to perpetuate the experiments and continue their project afterwards. And of course, we will help them through the whole project from the idea to the market. So in order to qualify and identify nearly 30 projects per year, the June CET consortium wishes to offer identical support regardless of the location of the project leader. So project ideas can emerge in several ways: by a clinician in response to a field need, or by a health professional, by family caregivers, or by companies that have identified a market in a given field. Currently in France, it's a bit difficult for a project leader to understand the ecosystem, as I said before, which can support its projects. So this is why we've chosen to be as close as possible to the territories and to the partners with physical third places deployed in both urban and rural areas throughout Normandy. So from Rouen, which is closer to Paris, to Saint-Lô, which is very close to Britain. And so when we identify a project from these areas, we work hand in hand with our partners there to give them the best support we can. To increase our visibility and the visibility of the project, we commit to communicate widely about the program. We will create a network of projects that we've already started to create through our members. And of course, we will launch a call for projects in partnerships with stakeholders from the field, following design thinking workshops, for example. Once the projects will be identified and validated by the experts, we will focus on making the project as right for the market as possible. So the experts will focus on user feedback, professional feedback, business model within the sector. They will make sure that the technology used is interoperable, secure, and reliable. And of course, that it's compliant with the existing regulations so that everything can be pushed to the market as quick as possible. And once this is done and the appropriate modifications have been implemented, if there is a need for that, partner organizations can test the solutions on site. And this is why this is going to be a kind of guarantee for future investors and for the project that if the experimentation is successful on site, that the project is useful. So as I said, this is the main project for us for the next year or so. We have a lot of partners in here, so several hospitals, CARSAT, which is an organization taking care of retired people. We also have incubators, startups, etc. And that's the end of my presentation. Sorry if I've taken too much time. But
That's Benjamin. Thank you very much for that. And as co-host for this, you're allowed to take a little bit more extra time. And all the other people in the room are going, oh, for goodness sake. But no, you done fine, Benjamin. Thank you very much for that. I think some great opportunities there. This session is not only out of France facing, it's also for opportunities for you all at the other ecosystems of France to think, we need to connect some dots here, or there's things that we could replicate in our region. Because of course, there's no rivalry between regions. On that note, I'll move across to your neighbours in Breton and introduce Adeline. Adeline, please, tell us what Benjamin's been missing and where you can collaborate, please, some more. Oh, you're on mute, Adeline. Adeline. Benjamin, you can't just mute the competition. It's not fair.
Hello, Andy. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to have the occasion to speak today and present our ecosystem. And thank you, Benjamin, our neighbor, for presenting also his region. So I'm going to share my screen. That's okay for you. Do you see it properly?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I will be presenting our e-health ecosystem in Brittany. So I will present from a general point of view or region or strength, and maybe after that I will add a few information also on our innovation technology cluster in Brittany, Biotech Santé Bretagne. So just to present firstly our region. So Brittany, well, is a part of a really western region of France. It is an attractive region with 3.4 million people. We have about 10% of the population which is aged 75 and more. So of course, this is one issue for us to work on senior population. We have a GDP of 99 billion euros, and we have notably some strong sectors such as agri-food economy and a strong track record in the global ICT sector as well. And health is a really strategic sector, and notably among this sector, the topics of prevention, predictive, and personalized medicine. We also have a high-level education and basic and applied research on life sciences. And this is why we are also part of different European projects, notably Interreg projects, sustaining our SMEs in the life science sector. Just a few figures. So Brittany is ranked number 2 if we are talking about R&D on digital technologies. This is at national level. We are also ranked 3rd for dynamism and health tech. Also, this is a national level ranking. And for dynamism and e-health, we are ranked number 4. So we are part presently of, we have 3 Interreg projects, and notably one Interreg Europe project, which is called Intensive, who is specifically working on e-health issues. This project is well coordinated by a Finnish partner, South Ostrobonia region. And so we are mainly focusing on exchanging of good practices in e-health sector. We have been conducting some evaluations on these e-health good practices and exchanging between the region on these good technological solutions. And this project will end his phase 1 this summer, and then we'll be working on the implementation of our action plan, which is for us, we have chosen one good practice coming from Finland, showroom, sustaining technology innovation in the field of health and well-being. And we will be transferring this good practice in Morbihan, in Lorient, in our CarePap Re-Education Center, in order to sustain SMEs which are working specifically on the field of handicap, because CarePap Re-Education Center is a strong center working on this field. And so we are going to work on the innovations we can bring in this specific field of handicap. We're also part of an Interreg Northwest Europe Boost for Health, mainly sustaining internationalization of our SMEs in the life science sector and notably in e-health sector. So with the different vouchers and matchmaking events and a lot of advice for SMEs in order to connect with other partners at European level. And finally, we are also part of an Interreg channel project, which is called Impulse, also sustaining life sciences SMEs while organizing different types of workshops, matchmaking events, and bringing our SMEs in international events such as Medica or Arab Health, for example. So the strength of Brittany, we have about 55 academia research teams, living labs and technological platforms. We also have one regional cancer center for treatment and clinical research and one French blood service. We have in Brittany 2 university health hospitals in Rennes and Brest, and about 200 care institutions and 1,500 medical social establishments. We also have 3 clinical research centers supported by the Ministry of Health. So, and finally, we have 500 companies, including 260 innovative companies, in which half of them are coming from medtech and e-health. So we are really working in our technology innovation center to put in connection these SMEs with also research institutions, but also with health professionals, and really support all these stakeholders to deposit some innovation projects. So we bring them some support while advising them on regulation, on financing, on European projects, and in order to develop some new connections abroad. So this is really part of our work every day to advise them and bring our expertise to these different stakeholders. So here are a few partners and SMEs which are among our network. And just to precise, we have presently 163 members at Biotech Santé Bretagne, and about 75% of them are SMEs. Well, we have different topics for in strategic themes for working, but among them are digital health, big data, cyber issues, because we have a specific cyber center working with the Ministry of Defense in Brittany, so really connected on this in this field. We are also working on interoperability, integrated care, telemedicine, for example, and prevention themes. So our different stakeholders are really involved and day-to-day stakeholders for us. If I can just add a few more information on our cluster. So we are also, we were created about, well, we have more than 300 years of experience. Biotech Santé Bretagne was created about 2 years ago, but it was a merger between 2 different associations that were previously working both in the field of health and biotech. And so, in fact, we have more than 30 years of experience while sustaining our different ecosystem in these fields, and notably SMEs. And so we'll really be very happy to develop some new cooperations with the European region, part of EQUalliance network. Of course, I stay at your disposal if you have any questions on our projects, and we'll be very glad to cooperate with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Adeline. Fascinating experience again. And again, from an outsider's point of view, I've got the luxury of looking at what you presented and what Benjamin's presented already and think there's some connections there already. And hopefully you're close enough to be able to share some of those projects, learnings from those projects, and also ideas for maybe potential collaboration in the future, because that's one of today's takeaways. Isn't so much for our outside audience, it's for our French audience and colleagues to think, where can we collaborate some more? Not just in terms of sharing existing projects and past ones, but also maybe think about doing something together too. Secondly, I also see some great ways to communicate and collaborate around the field of aging and cancer. We've only seen 2 of our ecosystems. Let's see what we got at our 3rd one. Okay, I'm going to come over to you, Caroline, over in Hauts-de-France, in Lille, hopefully with the Eurosante ecosystem. The floor is yours.
Thanks. I'm trying to have it in full screen. Sorry for that. Is it good for you?
Yes, all good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Caroline Auberger, and I'm managing the service of European projects at Eurosante. Andy, you spoke about connection. We already have a few connections with Adeline because we are partnering in 2 Interreg projects she mentioned. So that's a good link to pursue the presentations today. So Eurosante is dedicated for more than 25 years to tech transfer and business development into the life sciences sector in the northern France region. Our regional sector gathers 1,100 companies that employ 32,000 employees. As you can see, we are particularly active in the fields of technical textiles, nutrition and functional ingredients, medtech, as well as data management and digital health. Region also counts a strong research hub with more than 80 research laboratories, gathering more than 4,000 public and private researchers. And we have a few particular topics of excellence in our research: cancer, cardiometabolic and neurodegenerative diseases, as well as nutritional innovations, for instance. We benefit also of the presence of key healthcare centers, as well as a major educational cluster in France. So Eurosante is a team of more than 110 employees whose objective is to help develop the regional economy by creating employment and wealth in the region, as well as improving prevention and care. And to reach this goal, we help 3 kinds of profiles to develop their projects. We help the startups, the companies, and the researchers. And to do so, we have several tools. We run first 3 incubators, one dedicated to health, a second one dedicated to food tech, and the third one dedicated to active and healthy aging. We manage as well one competitiveness cluster, which is named Cluster NHL, and we manage 2 business parks dedicated to health and food. The Eurosante Bioincubator first has one main mission. It's to promote the creation and the development of innovative companies in the health and nutrition sector. So the Bioincubator has already supported 300 projects, contributed to the creation of 170 companies, creating more than 1,300 jobs. And we manage as well 2 other incubators, which are more recent. There is first Alimentaire, which was created 5 years ago to support the development of innovative food tech companies. And EuraSenior, created only last year, which is the first incubator dedicated to active and healthy aging at the European level. So our competitiveness cluster is named Cluster NHL for Nutrition, Health, Longevity. It is a professional network of industry, research, and healthcare players involved in health and nutrition, and it counts around 350 members. Sorry. EuraSanté is highly active into European projects, being involved as a leader or partner in more than 15 ongoing European projects, mostly Interreg, and we begin with Horizon Europe now. And this links us to more than 125 partners for nearly 15 countries in Europe. In those projects, we have two main roles. The first one can be the valorization of research, and the second one can be to support SMEs development and internationalization, such as in the Boost for Health project you mentioned, Adeline. And in addition to that, sometimes we add other missions, such as exploitation, communication, and dissemination role, or project management. And we recently validated 3 new projects belonging to the Horizon Europe program since the beginning of the year. Final word maybe about the fact that we organize 4 annual international events that you can see on the slide. The aim is to foster tech transfer to allow to build partnerships for all public and private stakeholders, but also to facilitate the emergence of cooperating projects and to increase licensing opportunities. So they all have a topic of specialization, biotech and pharma for biofit, medtech and e-health for medfit, active and healthy aging for aging fit, and nutrition and food for Nutrivent. And they all attract between 700 and 1,000 participants a year. And they very often welcome hosted events of European projects because they gathered a strong number of experts in one special field of health. So it's useful to attract key stakeholders for European projects events. And I think that's it. So thanks for your listening, and don't hesitate to contact me if you have, of course, any questions.
Wow, is all I can say to that. Very, very interesting contribution there. I think the only question I can ask questions, you see.
Yes.
Is you've got 4 of those great, huge events, and I'm jealous of those events. 3 of them have the same name, the aging fit, and so why was the last one left off? Because was it the first?
Yes. Because the FIT means fostering innovation and transfer, and we didn't have the proper rights. The trademark was already bought by someone else, so unfortunately we were not quick enough on this side.
Okay, so we've had 3 of our ecosystems present so far. Again, so much information there. I'm just going to before we hand over to you, Jean, in Paris, I'm just going to say this. Just imagine if we collated how many businesses you support, how many jobs you've created across those 3 regions, just those 3 regions, how many projects you've been involved with, how many project partners you've got, and glued them all together. Just imagine that. Well, we've kind of done that today with the document we've done. So we're trying to get that a bit better, but just think of those opportunities there, because that's a huge community. If you think about each one of those projects, 10 partners each across the different 3 regions, that's a great big network. So talking of a network, I'm proud to announce and introduce what is our newest ecosystem, which has joined us right at the end of the French presidency period, and we're delighted And I'm really pleased to introduce June, who's going to talk about the new Future for Care ecosystem in Paris. June, over to you.
Thank you very much, Andy, for the nice introduction. I think that my presentation will be very, and our activities are very complementary to yours, Adeline, Caroline, and Benjamin. First of all, do you know something about Future for Care? Have you heard about Future for Care?
Assume no.
No? Okay. So let me share my screen with you. So actually, a Future for Care. Why are we building something with Andy and Adriana? Is because we have an European ambition actually. And actually, Future for Care has been built by 4 big groups: Orange, Sanofi, Capgemini, and Generali. So we would like to build the largest European e-health community. So we are only dedicated to e-health, and we are mostly dedicated to major startups and industrials. Actually, it was quite a miracle because, as you know, 4 groups, it's difficult for 4 groups to speak together and to build a real project, but the COVID helped enormously. Actually, Sanofi had the leadership first. They found actually our building, and then they asked Orange and Generali and Capgemini if they wanted to join. So they joined, and within 1 year, they managed to build this project that I will show you. We integrated the buildings in January 2022, and it has been 1 year now that we are existing. So what's original in our ecosystem? We are not only an accelerator, we are an accelerator combined with an institute. An accelerator because we are supporting major startups, and an institute. I will show you what it is. But just to give you a glimpse of our community, as you understood, our DNA is really industrials. We would like to host 100 startups in 3 years, and currently we have already more than 20, and we are holding now our second call for projects. In September, we will welcome new startups as well. We have 4 founders. We have industrial partners, which are pharmaceuticals. IQVIA is joining. Avas, an advertising group, but the healthcare part is joining us as well. We have 2 pharmaceuticals with us. And I think this is as well building our originality, because the startups are being helped by these founders and these industrial partners, which is a great value for them, because of course it's not very difficult to find the right expert or the right consultant, but having the point of view of our founders or these industrial partners that can open the doors as well for them, it's very it's a great value perceived by them, which the feedback that we had from them as well. And there is an institute building the bridge between all this private ecosystem with the public ecosystem, and I'm personally the director of the Institute of Future for Care. So regarding the Institute, just to be quite quickly, I just want to give you just concrete things about what we are doing. Actually, the main thing of the Institute is the think tank, and we would like to provide a prospective vision of the e-health, and we would like to acculturate not only the industrials, but the general public to what e-health is. We would like to build confidence as well around e-health. And everything is actually guided by a scientific committee, and the scientific committee has been launched mid-May, and we have 25 academics who join us and who are really happy to join us, from fundamental science to human sciences, and we have even philosophers with us, because from my perspective, it's very important to have this ethical and philosophic point of view. The institute is building as well an academy that will help these industrials to better understand the e-health, and I would like as well to them to be very much committed and to work on real projects. And we have as well something very more private, is the circle, which is to help as well the COMEX people to build a real vision in e-health. We are guarding the first batch of our startups. As you can see, we are addressing the whole value chain from EdTech to artificial intelligence solutions, of course, distant medicine with teleconsultation or tele-expertise or even telediagnosis, and as well for we have startups dedicated to real world evidence with IoT applications and systems, and as well specifically Open. Brittany should know that, which is a great startup. I love working with them. They are really great, and they are helping actually to build a digital pathway to patients, and they're doing that very smartly and with great values as well. These are just a few figures just to show you that we are integrating mostly major startups, but to be honest, we are accepting as well post-incubation startups, because if we believe in the projects, sometimes we are going above the rules and integrating not only European startups. This is a very important criteria. They should have a headquarters in the Europe, but finally, even startups outside Europe that would like to have a foot in Europe, we can accept the grant. And this is the team, how Future for Care is structured. So you have the boards, the founders. Agnès is the CEO, and there is an operational team, a communication team, and as well someone, Yannick, who is responsible for the accelerator program. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. And my email is very easy. It's Jeanne, Jeanne, @futureforcare.com.
Thank you very much for that. Please put your email, as anyone else here who wants to stick their email in the chat function and everyone can see. That's a really, I think, exciting opportunity to get involved with our latest ecosystem there, and I think some great opportunities there for connecting again back with colleagues in Breton and Lille as well. So now we've got the great opportunity, because as a member organisation, this is what I'm about. I'm about showcasing our members, and what we've learned from this French Connector piece that we've done is more information about our members than we had before. So it's an invitation to treat today to hear from our member Anne Liu from the Santé and Medicine organisation. Anne, the floor is yours. Tell us about you, what you do, and how we can collaborate with you.
Hi, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon to you all. I'm Anne. I'm the founder of the Association Santé et Médecine, located near Marseille. We are a local group of 10 doctors from primary and secondary care. And our mission is to find ways to improve preventive care and support. I started this project 8 years ago after some friends and colleagues died because of mental disorders. I believed that if these people had had some prevention at some stage of their lives and access to early care, these strategies could have been avoided. We realized that prevention in mental disorders is not developed. People are also not aware that some medical conditions can be linked to bad stress management. In our country, 83% of adult population is not able to identify the first symptoms of a mental health problem. So today we focus on chronic stress prevention because it is a trigger and an accelerator of mental and physical disorders. And also because it may affect everyone. We have developed, Yes, We Cool, a personalized coaching app for the prevention of chronic stress. It is more than a stress relief app. It is a mind-body program for health and resilience. It helps people to develop skills to manage stress before it becomes overwhelming or chronic. So our goal is also to help recognize and to reduce medical symptoms at an early stage. We developed a model to learn to recognize reactions to stress and to find out how these reactions mostly affect health and quality of life. The model is based on the most common reactions for everyone that include physical responses, thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. The steps we are using in the model are first to learn to recognize individual stress reactions and to explore the way they impact health, behavior, and well-being. Then it's all about testing triggers and perceptions to find out if this reaction is helping to deal with the situation. The last step is to learn to adjust these reactions with self-care tools and techniques. So on one hand, we have this very practical, personalized preventive model, and also a smart tool finder to help users find easily the most suitable tools for their specific reactions. So on the other side, Yes, We Could provide some basic educational resources in mental health and a training with specific adjustment techniques to improve resilience. We have adapted a range of CBT tools and all our features so that they are interactive, easy to use and understand, very, very short. This is especially great for people who lose interest very quickly. So today we are a very early stage and small member. We are collaborating with some local medical initiatives, and we're starting partnering with some companies to test our solution in the workplace, especially in the mental health sector for employees and in the civil economy area. We are looking for partners to help bring Yes, We Could to the next level and do clinical tests. We are open to any kind of support and advice and connection in France and Europe, and would like also to work with a health prevention provider to maximize our impact. That's it. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. If I could have chosen a topic to end on, it would be one of mental health. Why? Because my background's in mental health. I spent the last 20-30 years working in psychiatric background, so fascinating resource there, Anne. I would like to play A, thanks for your presentation. B, we'd like to feature that in our member-to-member news, and we'll be in contact to you directly to showcase that you've developed via our member-to-member newsletter, because I think that would be an ideal way to celebrate in practice, not by doing this, but by sharing what we see as a great opportunity to engage. So we'll be in touch with you directly, my colleagues, to try and get you plugged into our next member-to-member news. Secondly, we also run a thematic ecosystem purely on mental health, and we're looking for solutions that are adoptable and scalable from country to country. There's one. I think the ecosystems here present will see that also as one that they would like to perhaps engage and learn from. Please feel free to make some contact with each other today, and all the people who've attended today, and more importantly, be watching this in our catch-up TV, because that's what happens now with webinars. We just keep increasing the number of people who watch these on YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter. I'd like to thank all of the participants we've had today, primarily because this takes a great deal of preparation for them to turn up and present in a language that's not their own. I've tried it myself, and I'm awful at French, as many of you have experienced. Please don't say anything. But one of the nice things is that you've taken the time to do that. One of the things we want, and when we looked at doing this, was to set out and do something different during a presidency period. And instead of thinking about how we can latch on to whatever the government's doing, or the Ministry of Health or the European Commission doing, I don't want to do that. We're a member organisation. I want to focus our members and our ecosystems. And I think today we've done that. We've seen the great opportunities to engage with projects that Benjamin's outlined from Normandy. We've seen some of the fantastic cooperation that takes place in Brittany that have been shared by Adeline as well. But also some fantastic opportunities to engage at scale in Hauts-de-France, in Lille, with Eurosante. And I think an optimistic opportunity for the future to connect up with our latest ecosystem in Paris. Lastly, I think we've seen in a nutshell what it is to be a member of the ECH Alliance, to have that vision. I too have lost too many friends who couldn't cope, didn't have those coping skills. And I think you've got that ideal opportunity there to have a scalable model elsewhere. Let's use that as an opportunity to grasp and share for today. I'd like to thank my colleague Adriana and Ines for organising today and organising the document we've shared with you all today. It features much more work than we've had an opportunity to present today in an hour and 8 minutes, but what's 8 minutes between friends? We will share this document. This is a document that I want to build on. First thing I want to think about doing is, how can we get you all to visit each other? And how can I come and visit you and get you to visit the rest of our ecosystem network? Let's work on that in the coming 6 to 12 months and see what we can do to keep connecting the dots. Thank you very much for all of you people who've taken the time out to present today, to share your information with us and show what a fantastic community we've got in France.
Thank you for this connection.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Au revoir.